Not sure, can't remember how she accepts the bridle. Hope it's good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna always put the reins on my shoulder right here, because if I have them on my shoulder, then they're out of my way. You'll see people who like putting the reins over the horse's neck. Never do that when you're putting the bridle on, because if they were to take off, you're not gonna be able to hold them back.
Okay.
And they're just gonna take the bridle with them. This is gonna hit, the bit's gonna really hit their legs, bruise up their legs. They could go lame. It's a big wreck.
Okay.
So always keep them on your shoulder. If something was to happen, they take off, then this is, you know, the horse is not gonna take it with them. So coming into the bit, we'll put one hand on her nose, one hand on her pole. She's gonna drop her head, good girl. Then I'm gonna come down here and get the bit ready, open her mouth and slide the bit in. This ear, and now, and now the bit's on. Then we'll go to the throat latch. With the throat latch, find a good hole here.
You can go all the way up because it's kind of weird.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the throat latch, you always want to be able to put a hand in here, because if you go to collector and this is tight, for example, if this was tight and you go to collector, then all it's going to do is choke her.
Okay.
All right, so you always want to be able to put a hand in there. And all right, we'll do something else with the with this in a second. All right, and then I think we've already gone over this, but we'll go over it again anyways. Getting on, I get on from right here because I'm safe right here. Then I can put the stirrup towards me. I can hop around a little bit. Then I'm definitely going to flex her, because I always want her paying attention to me when I'm getting up under saddle. I don't want her glaring off into something in the, you know, off in the distance. She needs to be paying attention to me. I'll go up, and then I'm on the horse. As she starts moving, I'll go ahead and flex her to a stop. Then I'm going to let her have her head for about 45 seconds on a loose rein before we start moving around. If she does start moving around, then I can pick up a rein and have her come to a stop. Then the 45 seconds automatically starts over again.
Okay.
The reason being is I don't want her anticipating every time I get on that she's going to move off. Okay. More people get hurt getting on their horses than they do from the ground or under saddle, because they put their foot in the stirrup, the horse is anticipating taking off on you, and then you get your foot caught in syrup, and then you're getting dragged, or you fall underneath the horse, or something goes wrong and you get hurt getting on your horse. So it's always good that we wait the 45 seconds so horse learns patience and they don't move off as we're getting on or getting off them. All right, after that we'll take care of the rooting later, but after that, then I'm always going to want to make sure that they're soft. So when I'm asking them to flex to the bit, which we'll go over here a little bit more in a little bit. So they're flexing to the left. So right here she's flexing, and then on this side she's stretching her neck.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So she's stretching there, and it's always good, you know, if I pick up the rein, and if she's soft and she's saying, "Hey, I feel good," and I don't feel sore anywhere, at least in the neck. When she's stretching, she's not feeling sore or anything. And then I'm gonna wait for her to be nice and soft, and I want her head nice and quiet. She's not quieting down yet. I want her head nice and quiet. As soon as her head's nice and quiet, she's soft, I'll go ahead and release her. She does have some kitty habits with rooting out the nose. The rooting of the nose isn't dangerous to us or the horse. It's super annoying though, and it's very rude for the horse to be constantly doing that. And what they're trying to do is rip the reins out of our hands, saying, "Get out of my mouth, get out of my mouth," and they're trying to take the reins out of our hands. So if you're in here and you want to go to correcting that every time she starts to root, you could always pick up the rein and have her flex, and when her head's nice and quiet and she's soft on the rein, then you go ahead and release her. As she roots again, then do it again. All right, so that's the bridling and mounting, dismounting. Then before she moves off, you always want to make sure she's going to be soft on the rein, nice and soft. If she's not soft and she's heavy, then you want to work on her flexing and getting nice and soft. And we'll go over that here in a few minutes. And you want to do that from both sides. So she's a little heavy there. There she's softened up a lot. And the reason we want to do this so much is to get her soft, but if something did go wrong out on the trails or in here, I have an emergency stop. I could slide my hand down, pick up the rein, and flex her to a stop, or if I had to, I can disengage the hip and move the hip to the side. If I needed to really get control over what the horse is doing, whether the buddy sour, barn sour, they picked up a habit of bucking or whatnot, I'd want that emergency stop on them. The only time I wouldn't do this if the horse was rearing up. I would never do that, because if I pick up the rein and while they're rearing up, then I'm gonna pull them over this way on top of me, and rearing we deal with totally separately. But on most things, the bolting, bucking, stuff like that, you could always do the emergency stop and bring her right back under control.
Okay.
And then, you know, it needs to be second nature to her, and it needs to be second nature to you. You know, if they start spooking really bad, you know, either here or out on the trails. There's some places out on the trails where even I have to let things go sometimes, because I'm right here. There's a cliff on this side, and there's a hilltop on this side, and there's a cliff on this, or, you know, cliff that drops off on this side.
Yeah.
So, you know, if the horse starts getting a little prancy or jiggy, okay, but as soon as we get to the end of this and we're on flat ground again, we're definitely taking care of this problem. But so you could, you know, when you're out there, kind of pick your battles, as long as they're not, you know, horrible issues, kind of pick your battles where you're going to correct the problem or not. When there's a mountain on this side and a cliff on this side, it's not the time to try to start correcting a, you know, her giving to the bit or the root in her nose, or, you know, sometimes she's going to have to let it go. And if I did have a horse that was bucking, for example, I wouldn't have him on those types of trails. I'd have him on the flatter trails until I knew I had him out of bucking, then go on those trails. All right, so when I get off, same thing. They got to stand here for 45 seconds after I'm done riding on a loose rein, stand still. And then before I get off, I'm gonna have them flex a little bit, so now they're paying attention to me again. They're not gazing off into the wild whatever yonder. And then when I get off, I'm just gonna go ahead and step down, and then I'll go ahead and let her have her head.
Okay.
Oh, let's do one more thing here. All right, so you're gonna be the horse. Grab the end of this. Okay, so if you're the horse, right? Mm-hmm. How much pressure do I have? Your hand is the horse's mouth. Mm-hmm. How much pressure do I have on you right now?
Like nothing.
Okay. Now?
A little more.
How much would you say? Half ounce, quarter of an ounce, ounce?
Like a quarter of an ounce.
Okay. Now?
A pound.
Now, go ahead, pull back. And now?
A lot.
Okay. All right. So that's your hands on the reins with the horse's mouth. Okay. If you're going to pounds, then something's wrong.
Okay.
All right. So you don't ever want to resort to pounds. When we start resorting to pounds, then we're starting to block the horse's hind end from engaging underneath them, and they can start dropping a shoulder. When they drop a shoulder, they duck way down to get that release. Okay. So we don't ever want. And if you know they're ignoring the bit for some reason, then you'd always pick up on the left rein or right rein, have them flex and regain the softness. Okay. So if that was if you're the horse's mouth, your hand, that's about as much pressure as you'd want on them right there. It's maybe a half ounce of pressure. This is a preview on giving a lesson in horsemanship. To see this full video, go to Google, type in Mike Hughes Horsemanship members page, click on the link and subscribe. When you do subscribe, you'll get a 3-day free trial, and you can cancel at any time. There's over 280 videos, horse training videos on my members page in full with step-by-step easy to follow methods, and every lesson is broke down into steps that the horse can learn in a calm, relaxed manner with behavior issues, horsemanship, starting on broke horse under saddle, solving different issues out on the trails, and so much more. So when you do join, become a member, also join my group page on Facebook where you can post pictures, videos of you working with your horse, and ask questions so I could help you and your horse more. So we hope to see you all there. Enjoy your horses. Thank you.